Apex live webinar today. I'm really excited to meet you guys and to see what's going on. I'm Eric Roberts. I'm the founder, and I'm a piano tech. And I've worked with everybody from John Legend, Harry Connick Jr., Craig Morgan, Tony Bennett, even Garth Brooks' team, Toby Mac, Train Plus One. I've just done a lot of amazing things in the piano industry. These are some of my clients, and also work here in Nashville for Jay Joyce in Neon Cross Studios. He's been named the most influential and hardest rocking man in country music. And just a couple months ago, I got a call from these guys right here, Coldplay. They came to Nashville and they called me. I was able to tune a piano. This is some pictures here. But I always get this question, and I'll tell you everything about what's happening today, but people ask me, are there really enough pianos to make a full-time living? Is this really even a thing that you can do to make a living tuning pianos? And my answer is always absolutely yes. And so I'm going to show you in this webinar how I've done it. My local business here, I've been in business over 18 years, over 100 five-star reviews. I have two companies, one in Nashville, one in Dayton now. So I've been doing this quite a while and have done this so much time. We have over 5,000 clients. This year, 2025, we did 17 new clients every month. We've done over 700 tuning appointments. This is kind of the back end of my business. And I'm gonna kind of open up your eyes to the math of piano tuning. But this last year, I had one of my techs that does the Dayton market. He only works 3 days a week, and he pulled. I wrote him checks totaling $79,000. This is a 1099 from 2021. You can just kind of see the numbers there. So I want you guys to understand, yes, there's plenty of money in piano tuning, actually a lot more than you think. But why are you here? Do you love music, the arts? You want to be creative, or you want a better future? You're just looking to make more money. A lot of you guys just say, like, I'm tired of working my job. I don't want to work a job every day, even if I have a good job. I've talked to people who are saying, I'm working 80 hours a week, and I'm just kind of grinding. I want to be with my family. So if you're looking for a change, if you're looking for a better future, if you can become a piano tuner. And so what you will learn today is how a piano is tuned. It's one string at a time. How to train to become a certified piano tech and even a certified master piano technician through Apex. How you can make over $100 an hour tuning. We're going to talk a lot about math because that's important. This whole thing is really important about what is it really like to be a piano tuner. You're going to see how my students have launched their successful businesses. And I'm going to show you, stay all the way to the end, it'll probably be about 30 minutes, how to start your journey the right way and how to get involved in this. So if you keep watching this webinar, you're going to learn how I got here. I'm going to answer those two things. How did I get here? And how can you duplicate my success? And I'm going to reveal the Apex Business Launch Framework. So just stay to the end. I'm going to show you everything to do and how to get into it. Look, TJ started his piano tuning journey about 2 years ago. Started tuning after 2 months, and in his first year, he made over $50,000 tuning pianos. He owns Oak and Ivory Piano Company in Oklahoma. Karina, she's the same way. She quit her low-paying job. She was a waitress doing just stuff out of college and realized on her own, like, I think I can make a lot more money, and she's a songwriter. So she's here in sort of in the southeast Nashville area doing this now, and she started right with Apex and now runs Greenway Piano Tuning out of Murfreesboro. She's certified. And then, look, this is Emerson. Emerson is making over $600 a day as a piano technician. He was a piano, like a music teacher, and then he thought, well, I've got all these music students up here in the Northeast, and nobody's tuning their pianos. So he started his piano tuning journey, and now he was texting me a couple months ago, dude, I'm averaging about $600 a day when he goes out and tunes. So he's able to teach lessons, he's able to tune, he's able to do all these things and make extra money. So I'm Eric Roberts. I started this whole thing 18 years ago. This is my son Augie, my puppy Bear. He's back there. He's zonked out on the ground, like so zonked out. My wife is a homeschool mom. My son is homeschooled. We are a single income family, and this lifestyle is because I found piano tuning, because it wasn't always like that. Piano tuning really did change my life. And you say, well, how could it change your life? Well, I was tuning a piano in a guy's house about 15 years ago. It was like pretty early in my career, and he was an older guy, and I was getting ready to get my check from him, and I was looking up on his refrigerator, and he had pictures of his kids and everything, and I was like, oh, look, talking about his kids. And I was a new dad. My son was a couple years old, and he looked at me and said, hey, look, I worked my whole life, and I worked all these hours, and then my kids are gone. And he was kind of like lonely. He was sad. He was like, my kids, they just, now I'm retired, and I'm here in my house, and my kids are just gone. I missed all of that stuff because I work too much. So he said to me, don't do that. Don't work so many hours of your day in your life that you just miss your kids. It's going to pass by so quick. And that's really what I had started these things called Daddy Days. So this is me and my son just at a bowling alley on a Thursday. And we hung out every Thursday and we just hung out and did stuff. Here's him inside the studio with me. He came to work with me. I made a real effort to just, be with him every week. And that really changed. I will never regret that. This is one of the biggest things. This is him and I in a coffee shop, and we would go every week, eat pizza, get coffee, go bowling, do whatever we wanted to. And I only could do that because I was a piano tuner working for myself. I literally could just schedule my tunings whenever I want to. And it's still like that today. Like today's a Thursday. Tomorrow I'll be going to like an Indian reservation on a field trip. And I just blocked my schedule and said, yeah, I'm going on a field trip with my son. So this is the things that you can do. And when I talk to dads and moms and they're like, yeah, I'm just working all these hours and he's grinding and I just want to be with my kids. Well, that's really how piano tuning changed my whole life. And so the world does need piano tuners. If we talk about the business of piano tuning, you're in the right place, you're at the right time, because many piano tuners are retiring every single month. Men and women who have been doing this for years and decades, they build up thousands of clients, and then they just turn off their phones and they just quietly retire. So there's thousands of people out there go like, I can't find a piano tuner. If you try to call some piano tuners, it's unlikely they're even going to answer their phone and even talk to you. So schools, universities, churches, music schools, music teachers, all these people need piano tuners. And so there's actually, it's not really a small niche like you think, but there are very, very few people doing it. So it's really a high need and a low competition business. There just aren't that many people doing it. Like look around at plumber trucks, electricians, there's tons of them. There's hundreds, thousands of them. And, you got price shoppers out there and any kind of those manual labor jobs, you got a lot of stuff going on. And it's a pretty tough world. Piano tuning is a high skill. It's very, very like a high level skill that not a lot of people know how to do well. So once you do it, once you learn it, you can really dominate in your market and in a low competition market. I mean, there's not a lot of people competing with you. So can it be this easy, to make money as a piano tuner? Yeah, you launch your business, your Apex style piano tuning business, you put up a website, you do Google, do some of those things that I'm going to teach you how to do. Use an automated booking system. I don't even really answer my phone anymore. I just get texts and I get automated systems telling me, you got 3 tunings this today or 5 tunings this week, whatever. I just look at my schedule. I go tune about 2 hours, make about $175 to $275 per tuning, do some upsells and repairs. And then, so it really is a very simple business model. If you think about it, I'm doing this service, you're paying me money, and you can kind of do it like that. It is really that easy. And so you say, well, what do you need to tune pianos? What are you going to need? You're going to need some tools and some skills, tuning hammer, a mutes, and an ETD. So this is Piano Meter. It's a professional piano tuning app. You can get it on Android, iOS. So once you learn how to do that and you have your tools, you really don't need a lot more than this. Maybe a small random, like a screwdriver, some stuff like that. Some specialty tools for sure if you want to get into the higher end stuff. But just to tune pianos, you just need a couple tools that you can get. You need an app and you need the skill to do that. So how is a piano tuned? It's one string at a time. And I'm going to show you, I have a cutaway. I believe, I do have the cutaway video here. I'm going to show you how I tune a piano. It's really just tuning a single string and then tuning those outside strings to that string. And you kind of can hear some of the beats. I'm going to give you like a minute. I'm going to bring you into the studio where I did this pre-recorded video. You can watch this like a minute. You can just see what it sounds like to tune a piano. Check this out. All right, let's put the whole process together. We're going to tune this middle C. I'm going to mute out with my 2 mutes, the right and the left, and I'm going to make sure I'm on the right pen, follow my hammer up, and I'm going to tune C to stop the lights. It's a little flat right now. I'm going to pull it up and tune it perfectly to the lights. Notice I give just a little bit of a harder blow at the end. The lights are rolling a little to the left. Is that perfect enough? Probably good enough for now, but I'm going to do it again. I just want to pull it up. Just hit the note. Some pushing down. And I get those lights to stop on that middle string. Now all I have to do is simply reach down and remove the right mute. I move it over to the other set of strings to get it out of the way. Now I'm listening to that middle string and that right string, okay? And so it sounds out of tune. Make sure I have a good angle on my tuning hammer. I'm going to pull back to get that above. Now I'm just going to tap it down. Till they sound like one string. Now, to train your ear with your eye using your tuning device, all right, so that's all we're going to get into right there. You can see how it's just, moving the hammer a little bit, listening to the notes, watching the meter, and kind of training your ear with the meter is really the apex way. We'll talk more about ETDs as we go through this, but let's do a day in the life. So come with me as like a day in the life of a piano tuner. So what is it like? So I drive a lot, so I have a lot of freedom. Some people don't like to drive, but I actually like to drive. I like to get out. I like to be in nature. A lot of times I like to stop. I eat at Taco Bell or stop and get it. You're kind of free to kind of come and go as you please. You get to meet clients. You get to work on beautiful pianos. You get to play music, and you get paid. And this is a picture of a piano that was in a house that was near the Nashville explosion a couple years ago, and all the windows blew out. So I was cleaning and re-regulating this really nice piano up in here, looking out over Nissan Stadium. And so this is a really cool piano. So you just get to be in cool places, meet cool people. You get to drive a lot. A day in the life. Let's talk a little bit about the money. I'll leave the house about 9:30. I'll go tune a piano at 10 o'clock at a church. Here, this is actually a church in Murfreesboro. So this is 10 o'clock. I make $2.25 for that tuning. I'll take a break. I'll tune a piano at noon, maybe do a pitch raise. That's going to be a little more, $3.25. I'll maybe stop and finally eat lunch, and then I'll do a repair pedal. I'll repair a pedal. A lot of times repairs on pedals cost quite a bit because you got to do a lot of work. And then I tune that at 3 o'clock, $2.75, so I'm done. So that's basically like a 9 to 5 job, making $875. So that's your first, that's your first bit. That would be your first day. That's just kind of a day in the life. So, but really, that's what I was making, $875 for that one day. Now, I was making about $800 a week in my regular job when I met my mentor, Jack, and I'll tell you all about him as we go forward. But Jack was telling me, I'm making $600 a day tuning pianos, and I was like, what? Whoa. I was a worship leader at a church. I was making about, I think, $800 a week. This was way back about 20 years ago, and I thought that was really good. And Jack kind of said, I'm making $600 a day. It's really easy. He was kind of telling me like, oh, there's nobody doing this. You need to get into this. And so I did. I started kind of learning, and I was kind of working my full-time job and kind of learning. And then my boss called me in, and he let me go. He fired, like he said, we got to let you go. We don't have any more money. The church is out of money. We're going to do this with volunteers. We're going to change how we're paying out people. And I lost my job. That was it. That was my last Sunday. I was in there on a Monday morning. I had no job. And so I basically was like, well, I guess I can just do what Jack did. If I could just get one tuning a day, then I would make about what I was making in a full-time job. And I thought, well, that's worth it. Let's try it. So I said, I'm not going to go back and get another job. I'm just going to try to make one tuning a day and try to make enough money. And so here's the math of how you kind of get piano tuning. $150 tuning fee. If you tune 5 pianos a week, you're making $750 a week. And this is me working a couple hours a day. So you're still working under 10 hours a week, making about $37,000 a year. So that's pretty good. You could almost look at this like a side hustle, like a weekend warrior, or if you want to grow this to full-time, which is what I did, I wanted to turn up the gas a little bit. And so once I got my one tuning a day, it took me a 6 months to kind of build it up. And I was like, well, I could do more because I'm a lot of time I'm not even, I'm just one tuning a day is so easy. It's like it's not even like work. So I said I could do 2 a day. So if you're doing 9 tunings a week at $175, you're making $1,500 a week. That's about $78,000 a year working part-time. So that's working part-time still. You're working about 2 tunings a day, maybe 1.5 tunings a day. Now, you're going to have time for family, you have time for creativity, and you have time for ministry or volunteer work, and you're being able to make all that money. The per capita income in the United States right now now in 2020 actually was 59,000. So you're working part-time and you're above per capita United States income, and really you also own your own business. So the Apex Business Framework, it doubled my business every year. That's what I did. I hit master status. I had a lot of momentum. I had a good reputation. My marketing was working, and all my past clients would retune every year, and I would put every new client you get is very, very important because they're going to turn back. I never looked back. I was able to say goodbye to the 9 to 5. I never had another job after that, never needed one because I was making so much money tuning pianos. It really was great. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. What if you say, I've never run my own business, and you've heard some of the statistics before, like 50% of businesses will fail within the first 5 years, and you're like, well, it sounds great that you made it, but what am I going to do? I've never even run my own business. It doesn't matter. The Apex Way, I'm going to help you leverage technology and the right tools. This is the right tools to make more money. So I'm going to show you everything I do in the mentorship. I'm going to show you how to get online bookings, build a website, how to do automatic 6-month and yearly reminders, how to do day of emails and text, all of this kind of tech stuff. Because before I was a piano tuner, I was like an online marketer, digital course creator. I had lessons and YouTube channels. So I kind of put that all together. So with the piano tuning and all the digital marketing, so that's all included in what I actually end up teaching you if you study with the Apex system. You'll have an automated business system through Gazelle. We really, over 90% of my bookings now are just automatic. They're online. I just look at my phone. I'm like, oh, I got work tomorrow. Oh, I got work next day. Oh, I got more tunings. It works for you, and it's automated. So it takes the guesswork out of running a business. You can totally do this. Even if you've never run a business, you'll be completely fine. Like I said, you can boil it down to pretty simple. You go tune, you get paid, you repeat. Tune, pay, repeat. And I should have a slide that says that. That's a good thing. When you launch with Apex, you can launch really fast. Usually within 3 to 6 months, you can typically launch this business. Plus, you're never alone. You have a field tech mentorship, use an ETD method, and that's what makes it so fast. Almost every other piano tuning school that I've ever seen, all the old methods are teaching oral tuning and not the Apex way, and that's what the difference is about Apex. And I want you guys to understand this difference because I really need you to be understood and like not necessarily bought in, but like really sold in your own mind that this is the right way for you, because Apex is different than any other method that teaches. But really, the guys that are making all the money, they're using this Apex method. They're using the way that we tune. They're using the Sanderson AccuTuner or TuneLab or VeriTuner. They're using these electronic tuning devices. They're not taking years and years to learn oral tuning methods, okay? They're actually fast-tracking their tuning ability using electronic tuning devices, simple tuning app like AccuTuner, TuneLab, Pianoscope. The oral methods take years and years and years to learn. I could even put decades on here, right? Because it takes so long to get good at this, and it doesn't matter because once Jack, my main mentor, he was the Master Piano Technicians President of America. He was tuning pianos by ear orally for 20 years when he met Tim, and Tim was tuning the piano with an AccuTuner, and Jack was like really a good piano. I mean, he was a piano player. He could kill the piano. He was like killing it. So he would be working in the same store as Tim, and he would go over there and he'd be playing Tim's pianos in the morning and just hanging out all day, playing pianos. And he realized like Tim's piano tunings are really good. Like his tuning sounds so good. And he goes to Tim. He's like, Tim, what's going on? What are you doing? What's going on? He's like, well, I'm using an AccuTuner, Jack, and you should too. And so Jack was like, well, I mean, your tunings are better than mine. So Jack's trying to sit there and do all the ear checks and oral tuning, and Tim's just basically killing it. Now, Tim is an airplane mechanic. He's not even a really high-level musician. And Jack's like, well, if Tim can tune that good, I should be able to. And he went and got him an AccuTuner, never looked back. Look, it doesn't matter how many years you try to tune by ear. It doesn't matter how good you are or what kind of a master you think you are at tuning by ear. The AccuTuner can actually beat it in time, speed, accuracy, everything. And actually, the Great Chicago Tune-Off, back in 1997, volume 40 of the Piano Technicians Journal, they did a Great Chicago Tune-Off. And what they did was they said, well, we're arguing about can we tune by ear or can we tune by computer? What's the best way to do this? And they said, well, let's have a contest. So we'll get the two best tuners in the whole industry. And look at these guys. They're probably like the two number one guys that they could find all over the country. And they said, we'll let one of them tune with a computer. You can see that guy's holding a laptop right here. He's holding a little laptop right there, right here. Okay. And this guy's holding a piano tuner with his ears going, I'm going to out tune you. Yeah, ha, ha. So they go in there and they tune a piano. They have two identical pianos in a room. They both get to tune it. And all weekend, they have thousands of piano tuners that are professional piano tuners from all over the country coming in and listening to these pianos. All right. So they're listening to the pianos and they're voting a blind vote. Like they don't know which one was ear, which one was computer. And by the end of the weekend, the guy that tuned by the computer won. He won over everybody. Nobody knew. They thought, oh, it's a better piano tuning by like 70-30. Like by 70% of the votes were for him. All right. So it's already been settled in 1997. Okay. Because people would say, even when Sanderson started building the AccuTuner, piano tuners naysayed him and they said, you can never do it. It's too, every piano's different. There's inharmonicity. There's all these things that happen in a piano. You can never get a computer to be better than me. And so he said, okay, watch me, because he was a Harvard mathematician and a professor. And he basically created this whole algorithm and put it in these boxes. And then in 1997, I'm hoping that, I don't know if he was still alive or if he could see this, but think about it. He finally did it. And all these great piano tuners voted and said, yeah, it's better. So look, it's better. And it's the Apex way. That's how we do it. That's how we get you doing it fast. That's how we get you tuning better than anybody else. That's how you get a better reputation. That's how you can get in and get out quick. That's how you can make a lot of money. And it's not because you're going to spend a decade trying to learn to tune by ear. Look, I have had people come to take my course who have already taken other courses that tune by ear. You would know these courses if I said them. They're out there. They're prominent. And they've taken them and said, I just could never get it. I don't know what I'm doing. And then they get in Apex and boom, it's like a rocket ship under their rear ends, man. It just takes them, and it's like, oh, I get it. I can do this, because it's just way easier, way more efficient, way more accurate, especially for beginners, especially for those of you who are watching this webinar and thinking, I want to get into this. Please just believe me. You do your own research, of course, but I'm giving you the what is here. This is what it is. All right, so let's go on and talk about money, because 60% of people that earned a bachelor's degree, it took them over 6 years, okay? And the 6-year average cost of attending a bachelor's degree and getting your degree is $207,000. This is educationdata.org, okay? You can look this up. You can ask chat. It'll tell you that the data's out there, okay? 60% of people who earned a bachelor's degree took over 6 years or around 6 years, and they spent around $200,000. Now, when they graduate from college, like, oh, I got a bachelor's degree, I'm finally done. Mostly they have debt, and then they're like, I need to get a job. And the median starting salary for a college graduate is $47,000. So now they're making less than somebody that's running a part-time piano tuning business working 10 hours a week. Remember the numbers I showed you earlier? I got a guy who's working 3 days a week making $80,000 a year. Okay, this is a college graduate trying to get a job making $47,000, right? It's a no-brainer, really. It costs less to learn to tune piano than going to college. You can start faster and you make more money. The thing about college is you're 6 years in. You're $200,000 down, and now you got to go get a job. And I mean, the whole point of this is you don't want a job, right? You don't want to have to go to a job. You want to work harder or smarter. I want to work smarter. And that's what my dad would always say. He'd say, work smarter, not harder, because he did manual labor. He worked in a shop. He was a tool maker. So he did have some technical skills, and he made a lot of good money when he was a tool maker. But he saw people like my grandfather and other people in his plant were on the assembly plant. So they're doing manual labor all day, just doing one thing. They're just doing one thing all day. They're making like 12, 15 bucks an hour. My dad's a tool maker. So he's in there like playing with the computer thing, doing little things, making like 50 bucks an hour. So he was always telling me, work smarter, not harder. Manual labor versus piano tuning. Piano tuning will always win out over almost all manual labor. And it's kind of the way I get a feeling while I drive to work. I drive to a tuning and I pass, road crews and people like, even today, today it was like, I was going to Krav Maga because I was like going to fight people this morning, and I was going there because I can go to Krav Maga in the middle of the morning because I don't have to go to work, right? I don't have to go to my job because my job is whenever I schedule a tuning. So I'm driving to Krav Maga 8 o'clock this morning, and I see some dudes outside, they're building these houses and they're tossing bricks. There's a pallet of bricks, like this huge pallet of bricks, and they're tossing one, and they're tossing it up like like 3 ladders full, like, and the guy's catching it. So he's stacking it up on the second floor and he's throwing it. And I mean, I'm just thinking they're going to be there all day tossing bricks. And I just like, man, that's hard work, right? So when I go tune a piano, look at this guy. He's sitting in an air conditioned with a nice shirt on, and he's just sitting there playing with the piano, right? He's making more money than all of these guys that are dragging dirt all over the place. They're sweating, they're out in the sun, they're the cold. I mean, it's just manual labor is harder than tuning pianos. Guys, I'm not putting manual labor down at all. I'm just saying, if you got a choice, hey, do you want to go throw bricks for 8 or 9 hours or 10 hours? Or would you rather just go tune one piano? Because I guarantee you the guy that's tuning pianos is going to make more money, and it's going to be a lot easier. So what will it cost you? Well, indecision costs you independence and control. It costs you flexibility. If you can't make a decision, if you can't get yourself going, if you can't start your own business, if you can't get going, it's going to cost you financial equity. It's going to cost you your passion and creativity. It's going to cost you life impact. That's what indecision does. So we're going to talk about that. If you want to do this and you're thinking, well, this is kind of cool, I like this idea. I mean, I'm hoping you're feeling that vibe, like, I think I could do this, but I'll just go on YouTube. What could go wrong? Well, on YouTube, I mean, like, I have a YouTube channel and I love YouTube, but I've got these videos in my head. I can never forget this guy trying to tune his own piano on YouTube, and it's like a video. It lasts for like a week, and by the end of the week, he's like drinking beer and just like smoking cigarettes in his basement, like cussing and everything, because he's trying to learn to tune a piano on his own. That's kind of what you get in the world of YouTube. There's millions of different strategies and ways to do, and you just get all kinds of stuff. And yeah, you could probably learn how to do everything you need to do if you're a super genius just going on YouTube. I'll tell you what, I couldn't. This is Jack. He's my mentor. I never would have been successful without Jack. I never would have been able to see the potential and get on the bus and get moving without Jack. Now, Jack included with me 4 things, and he kept telling me this. So every time I tried to come up with some harebrained idea, hey, Jack, I'm going to do this and that, and he's like, listen, Eric, you got to focus, tune, repair, regulate voice. These are the 4 things that make you money. Tune, repair, regulate voice. He just kept going back to this, keeping me on track and teaching me and helping me get the big 4. And so the big 4 is what the Apex program is built around. There's 4 modules, 4 main modules. They're tuning module, there's a repair module, there's a regulation module, and regulation is like the inside action and how the action works, how you feel, what the key feels like when you play it. And there's a voicing module, which was written by Jack and me. I mean, we did interviews and I wrote the book, but it was all done by Jack, because early on I said, Jack, nobody will teach me how to voice a piano. Nobody. They're all secret. They're all doing this stuff. And the other thing is, half of them don't even know what to do. And so I think they just don't know how to teach it because they don't even know what they're doing. And that's pretty true. There's 4 Apex modules in the whole mentorship, and then there's also a business launch, which is really key, and then there's a VIP mentorship module, which is basically like, I am your mentor, I am helping you out, I'm helping you get going. I will basically end all the questions, and you'll be in the community. All the alumni are in there, all the students I talked about. This is a true mentorship. It's not a course. It's a real mentorship. It's for real. It's one-on-one. There's actually nothing like this in the entire world of piano technology that I know of. Nothing is like this. Our platform is a proprietary platform. It is includes me and all of the alumni in there, and all the coursework and all the live streams and the edits and the chats. We can get in there, talk on Zoom and all that. You can connect and grow together in bolster.co. That's my platform. I built this 3 years ago when I thought I need more for the mentorship. So now it's a community, and you can get in there. So you learn every detail of the piano trade up close. You get field videos, easy to follow. Now, I'm not just in a fancy studio. Now, sometimes I'm in a fancy studio, right? But I'm also, most of the time, I'm in a church, I'm in a house, and a lot of the videos in the mentorship are actually from the real true field, like I'm in the field. You also will get to join the exclusive Apex Technicians Network. You get to be listed on the website if you get through the whole program, and you're going to do that. So how do you start? Okay, so let's talk about this. If you're thinking, okay, I want to start, I'm going to make this as easy as possible, and this is actually going to be the easiest thing you will ever do, but you have to do it, okay? Indecision, we've already talked about, is not good. So just thinking about it, or I don't know, maybe I'll think about this. If I would have just sat around thinking about it, I never would have ever tuned a piano. I would have just thought, I don't know, and I never would have done it. So don't do that. Mentorship is by invitation only. So the first step is to complete the 90-day bootcamp, and that's what we're talking about today. Okay, once you complete the 90-day bootcamp, you will have you will receive, if it's right for you, if you feel like it's a good fit and I feel like it's a good fit for you, like if I know you're going to succeed, I will give you a personal invitation into the mentorship. Okay, so mentorship is invitation only, and step 1 is to complete the boot camp. So we're going to talk about the boot camp today, and I'm going to show you how to get into it. Step 2, enter the full mentorship program. You learn to tune and repair, and you launch your Apex style business. In that module 2, and that like step 2, you're going to enter the full program and get right away to tuning and repairing and making money. This is where you start making money in step 2. And then step 3, you're going to become a successful master tech. So you'll get your certificate, you'll start scaling your business, start making a lot of money. And that's in step 3. But here's what you get when you enter the 90-day training bootcamp. And I'm going to give you a slide here and a couple slides to show you how to get in. So you'll get 90-day training bootcamp access. It's basically a 90-day bootcamp. You get lifetime access. So you can go at your own pace. So there's just no pressure. If you get in there and you're like, man, I just didn't get through the 90 days, it's okay. You're going to get access. You're going to be inside the VIP community for those 90 days, but I'm going to give you that lifetime access. I'm not going to revoke your access. Once you're in, you can stay in there and you can just take as long as you want until you feel like, yeah, I can do this. You're going to have step-by-step lessons. You're going to learn to tune the right way. I'm going to teach you solid techniques and posture. So this foundation, I'm going to lay the foundation of a master tech for you. You're going to learn single string tuning and unisons, how to really hear, how to use an ETD to get those lights to stop, and how to tune by ear the unisons, because we do use our ears, right? You're going to get VIP access. You're going to get weekly live stream sessions and hangout sessions with me and the alumni. You're going to get a special one-on-one session with me. So when you're ready, you'll get a special one-on-one session where we're going to talk about everything about you entering into the full mentorship. You will get an opportunity to get the invite into the complete Apex mentorship. All right. So one small step today, and you're going to follow this all the way. It begins now. You can start now on your path towards doing the Apex Business Launch Framework, which is you learn to tune, you launch your business, you boost your business, you repeat. Tune, get paid, repeat. Tune, get paid, repeat. You increase your skill. You start doing upsells. Now look at what Joe Bovey did. Joe Bovey's actually now a mentor in the program. He's been promoted into mentorship this year. In May 2025, he did $5,000 in tunings. He's been in the mentorship for about 3 years, okay? He upsold in May and June. He upsold $25,000 worth of action regulations and rebuilds. Okay, so he's making a ton of money doing this. He's very successful. He actually even became a registered piano technician using the skills that he learned through Apex. And he made an oral tuning course that's inside the full mentorship. So you can actually learn to tune by ear, and you can go pass all the testing you need to with the RPT or whatever if that's something you want to do. Now you don't even have to do that, but Joe, he just basically did it, and he said, look, I want to help the community. I'm going to show them exactly what I did, how I passed it, and that's what it is. But the best part for you today is you only invest $497 up front. That's it. You only have to invest $497 up front. All right. And so I'm going to give you sort of the roadmap of what you're going to do. If you want to get into this trade, this is your opportunity. This is where indecision should go away, because you can start your boot camp today for $497. All right. Then you get an invitation into the full mentorship, and you start learning how to do full tunings and repairs. And then you're going to launch your own business the Apex way, start making money, and you can continue in the mentorship. Now, the full mentorship, like if you're in the full thing, it's about a 3-year program to get to master, So, but all along that way, after you get out of boot camp, you're building your business. It's paying for itself. And I really wanted to say that right here. The Apex mentorship is meant to pay for itself. Okay, nobody's paying for anything, right? I mean, you're actually paying some money, but this is meant to pay for itself. That's really kind of key to this, because you're going to pay $497 today. And when you do that today, I'm going to give you all the tools you need. In fact, I'm going to give you a carbon fiber tuning hammer and mute kit. So this is basically a bonus for the boot camp. I want you to have the best tuning hammer here and my favorite mutes. Now you can get a bunch of junk on eBay, and I've done that before, but I've decided finally, like, I don't want my students to have junk. I want them to have the best tuning hammer. So I'm going to give you the tuning hammer, and I'm going to give you a link to get a free version of Piano Meter. Now this is a great app. It will help you kind of get your first foundation started, and it's your turn. It's possible. I've done it. I've seen others do it. I've shown you my students today. They've done it. This is a 90-day boot camp invitation for you. So all you have to do, if you want to do this, is just go to apexpiano.com/bootcamp offer. All right. So if you have any questions in this webinar here, I will reload the comments, because the comments went off. I don't know why they went off. but they did go off. So if you want to do this, all you got to do is apexpiano.com/bootcamp offer. All right. And then when you get to there, when you get to enroll, it'll get you to a page. Here's the great part. It's $497. Guys, $497. This is you're going to basically be halfway through module 1 before you ever have to pay anything else, or before you ever have to decide if you want to go further. You're going to have so much skill level for tuning, stopping the lights, getting the unisons right, learning how to use the tuning hammer, learning how to do the posture, take the piano apart. You're going to be so deep into it that you're going to have so much confidence that if it's time for you to jump into the full mentorship and really do the full master mentorship, then you'll know. And that's why I want you to think today, this is just a test run. All right. So if you go to check out, you can actually do $497 right up front, or you can we do Affirm. And so it says 4 interest-free payments as low as $42 a month. So if you really don't have $497, you're like, man, I don't know. Just go ahead and use Affirm. You can use the pay later option right here from the online store. But this is the entry into the Apex program. Now, like I said, it's full invitation only to get into the big mentorship, and this is the number one step. So if you're here, if you've been in Apex for a while, you've been looking at it and wondering what's going on and pricing and all that stuff, just forget all that, because this is how it's happening from now on. You can get in the boot camp, you can start learning right away, $497, and then if it's right for you to move forward, then we have that conversation. You'll be working right with me, not with Joe's in there, I'm in there. All you got to do is go to apexpiano.com/bootcamp offer, and you can get in there for $497, and you can get started today. I'll send you links, get you set up, get you in there, and I'll get your tools out to you, and then you'll have your tools and you'll be ready to go. It's everything you need to make this happen for yourself. If you've really decided, like, I know you're watching this, if you're here, you have been watching and you have been thinking, I want to do this, and this is actually the best way you can actually do it. So it's your turn. All you got to do is click right there, apexpiano.com/bootcamp offer. It's in the comments. I'm going to put it in there right now. Apex Piano, spell it right, .com/bootcamp offer. Very simple. I just put it in the comments for you. I'll be in there. I would love to see you guys in there. This is your personal invitation into the boot camp. It's a 90-day program. Like I said, you're going to get 90-day training. You're going to get lifetime access to it, though. So if you, I know a lot of people run behind, or they're like, I bought this, but then I didn't get started right away, or I bought it, but I just need more time. That's fine. You're not getting thrown out. 90 days. It's a 90-day program, but you'll have the access to it as long as you need to get through that first part. I know life happens to people, and I know that things get out of focus. People, I have a lot of times I get out of focus and I'm like, man, I really meant to do this. So there's no pressure in time. You get step-by-step lessons. You'll get to learn the platform. You get to meet with me. You'll get that VIP access and weekly live stream sessions with our team. You'll get one-on-one session with me. You'll get an opportunity to get the invite into the Apex mentorship so you can become successful like everybody else. It's really simple. Start the boot camp today at $497 and get an invitation to the full mentorship after you pass this. Launch your business. Start making money. It pays for itself. That's what I'm saying. It pays for itself. And I really want to make this yellow. That's really what I want. Text and yellow. This is actually, maybe I'll make it green. Pays for itself. Yeah, that's what I need. I need some money. I want somebody to pay for me. Somebody will pay for you, because you'll tune pianos and people will pay you. And from there, you'll start making money. That's what having a business is like. Make money, right? Make money in the business. I hope you guys can do it. Hope you can jump in. Thanks for watching to the end of this live stream. I'll see you on the inside.